everybody. Welcome to CG Rated Books. Merry Christmas to you. It is Tag Tuesday and also Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas to all of you out there. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday. I hope you had a great weekend. And I am here to participate in Tag Tuesday. I was recently tagged by Reney from Beyond Books, and this is the Christmas Joy tag. There's only 7 prompts. Well, actually, there's probably 9 prompts because 2 of the prompts are in 2 parts. So, yes, real quick and real easy. We'll do it, we'll get it knocked out, and then we are going to celebrate the holidays. How about that? Yes. Okay, so first things first. Let's get that out the way. First things first. Second things second. First prompt is show us what you made to drink. Now there was a preset. You'll be able to see it in the comments. They ask you to prepare your drink so that you can have it ready and share what it is on the video. So everybody knows that my drink is coffee. So how do we do it, right? I am a big coffee, big fan of coffee, big coffee drinker, and I kind of need some right now, don't I? So I get a little bit more elaborate. Why don't you check out my coffee bar? So as you can see here, I have a full bar here at the house that I use, where I have raw sugar, pure cane sugar, I've got vanilla powder, I've got cocoa. This isn't hot chocolate mix. This is actually ground cocoa powder. I try to stay away from some of the contaminants and some of the extra ingredients that you might find in ready-made mixes. So I also have a tendency to mix my drinks just a little bit. I do have a Keurig and a coffee pot. How do you drink your coffee? I know there's a lot of other coffee drinkers out there. Do you use a French press? Do you have a cappuccino? Do you have an espresso at home? Yeah, well, I don't yet. But this particular cup, it's very simple. My favorite cup, first of all, very simple. It's just some cocoa mix with a dash of vanilla and some cinnamon in it, and I don't use contaminated creamers anymore. I was a big coffee mate. It's not good for you. I started going over to International Delight, which was a little bit better, but still not good for you. So now I just use regular cream, whipping cream, and it gives you a nice, either steamed milk or whipping cream. It gives you a very, very nice, smooth texture to your coffee. So that's what I do. I'm a coffee drinker, so yes. Prompt 2A is what's a Christmas book or story that you remember a parent or teacher reading to you when you were a kid? Okay, so we're going to give it a little two-part answer here. First of all, when we were younger, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas poem was constantly popular. Almost still know it, but that was one. But as far as story, they weren't read. I wasn't read too much when I was young. I did have a tendency to attend the story time at the local library, but reading wasn't very popular. However, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the old claymation stop motion cartoon, yes, the animated short Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yes. Prompt number 2B is, since childhood, what's a Christmas story or book you enjoy or find yourself returning to each year? I really don't, actually. I don't come back to Christmas and celebrate it in that traditional fashion anymore. I don't have special books that I like to read once a year. Um, I hardly do rereads. I'm only starting to do rereads in my adult life. Um, so I really don't have one. And if it ever boiled down to it, I guess the only one that I would really return to is the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed, all those old, Frosty, not Frosty the Snowman so much. What was it? There was another, same company. Uh, there's a couple of them, the Miser Boys. You guys remember those cartoons? I'll watch those again, but not necessarily look forward to returning to them, right? As far as doing it on purpose. I better go back and watch it. It's, it's not one of those things that I do. I don't normally return back to those old school ways, those old traditional ways. Prompt number 3, has your favorite author written a Christmas story? Unfortunately, I don't really have a favorite author. I've had quite a few that I like. I can't even pull, after I looked at these prompts on here, I didn't even really have a name pop up as far as an author that I would actually even recommend. So, don't necessarily have a favorite author, and very few of the authors that I have read that I could recall names of haven't really written a Christmas story. So, unfortunately, I can't really answer that one. Number 4, who is your favorite Christmas character from a book, history, movie, etc.? Tell us about this person or a critter. And it actually is a critter, because one of my favorite is the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yes. And if I remember correctly, I don't even remember if it was one of those stop motion animated films. So it was either The Day Before Christmas, Jack Frost, or one of those, but the abominable snowman that was in there. And I think they ended up, I got to go back and watch this now, because now I'm beginning to feel a little weird, because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm getting my stories mixed up. Was Baby New Year in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I don't remember. But anyway, the abominable snowman. I don't remember if that was Rudolph or if that was Jack Frost, but the abominable snowman. And because even though he couldn't speak, he had such a character chasing those guys across the frozen tundra. The abominable snowman. Question number 5. Do you munch on snacks while you read? And if so, which of your favorite holiday confections do you reach for this time of year? Okay, so I don't normally eat while it's not like a thing, but I do have a tendency to nibble from time to time, and I just like having cheese, summer sausage, and pepperonis, just little cubed. So a lot of times when I'm sitting in my office just watching TV, working on some of the stuff, I will nibble on cheese and sausage, right? But as far as my favorite holiday confection, and I don't normally even return to it very often because it's kind of harder and harder to find. But maybe you guys remember old-fashioned ribbon candy, right? Ribbon candy. I remember ribbon candy. Yeah, that. I love ribbon candy for some reason. I don't know why. But yes, if there was something that I would return to on purpose or to have a craving for, it would be ribbon candy and also eggnog. So round about this time of year, I didn't even mention it. I didn't know why I didn't think about it, but I have some here. But the vanilla spice eggnog, I will use it as a creamer instead of using whole milk. I mean, the steamed milk or whipping cream. I will use eggnog as a creamer. Yes, believe it or not. So that was number 5. Number 6, what is a Christmas tradition you will never outgrow, and where did this tradition come from? There's only one thing that's ever really truly important to me in this lifetime on this planet, and that is the people I care for. So my tradition is to gather with family. It's a must. I need to see family, spend time with them. If we don't have to do anything, we can sit in there and look at each other and eat popcorn. We can cook. We can talk. We don't even have to talk about nothing. Just make me feel like you don't mind spending a little bit of time in my presence. So what do? I look forward to gathering with people. Where did this tradition come from? My childhood. Honestly, we have a big family, and we were always getting together to eat. And out of these are the two, Thanksgiving and Christmas were both, but for my family, they were both the time to come together and eat. And they would make these huge meals, and we'd be eating on them for 2 or 3 days. And that's with big family around. We would travel at times. Family would come in from out of town, from out of state, and they would get hotel rooms, and they would shack up in the extra spare rooms. They would pull out cots and sleeping bags. That's my tradition, and I'll never outgrow it. I don't get a chance to. The gatherings are nowhere near as big as they used to be. They're nowhere near as elaborate as they used to be, and of course, there's a lot of conflict with family nowadays as to what we do when we come together and why. And if we don't do those, then there's no reason to come together. So, unfortunately, we don't gather as much or as big as we used to. But that's my thing. That's my thing. That was question number 6. Number 7A. 7A. Recommend 1 or 2 Christmas titles that spark joy or that you would recommend to your audience. Let's get a list. And I have to apologize. I don't read a lot of Christmas stories. I don't come back to this. I don't have a lot of Christmas titles. I don't have things that I can. I suppose I could have went down my roster and found books that I've scored fairly high that have a holiday theme to them. But no. 'Twas the night before Christmas. Who cannot not know that? So I apologize, but I don't really have one to recommend. 7B. What are some Christmas memories that evoke feelings of nostalgia? This is perhaps something that makes you feel a little sad, but also gives you a warm feeling when you think about it. And so there was this one tradition. We started getting our family together and celebrating Christmas. And we used to have a Christmas tree up. I don't put a tree up anymore. But we would have a Christmas tree. And since my family is so big now, and my siblings all have families of their own, and we're all living on different parts of the town, one of the things that we used to do is we had an ornament that represented our families individually. And we would come together for the holiday, and we'd bring those ornaments and we would put them on the tree on the house that we spent the most time at. So if we were going to have a family dinner or a family gathering for that holiday at Christmas, that the ornaments, and it got to the point where one person would keep the ornaments, and as the family showed up, we would have the head of household put the ornament on the tree. And I miss that. I do still have the ornament for my household, my household is these 3 wooden stick figures in different sizes, right? That represented me, my oldest son, and my youngest son. And they were kind of cute. And they were combined. It was one solid ornament. And we would, of course, we would almost always meet in my home. So almost immediately, I'd put the tree up and the ornament would go up. I would take it down when the family showed up or when the family was coming together so that we can put them all individually and everybody would put their ornament on the tree at that one point. So I miss doing that. And I really it took me a long time to find the ornament. So each household had to find an ornament that they liked that they would use as a representation for their family, so that when we got together, they could put it on the tree. So that was my thing. And it brings some nostalgia because the nostalgia is having come a long way, right? Having been a child amongst these same people, and now I'm a grown up with children in a healthy home. And so it just felt really good to be able to put my ornament on the tree. And, this is a representation of my family coming together and everybody's on the same tree. So, I don't know. Anyway, that's all of them. The last tag was to tag somebody. So I decide I am going to tag Matt from Random Reading Pathways. I'm going to tag Danielle from Books by Danielle, and Christina from Paper, Pages, and Possibilities. You guys are tagged. Renee tagged me. I'm going to tag Meg too. I don't know if Meg has done this one either. Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path. So 4 people. 4 people. Right? Matt, Danielle, Christina, and Meg, you guys are tagged. And I thank you for joining me today. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And we'll be back later on this week for our weekly check-in. Until then, you guys have a wonderful time. And always, always, always keep reading, y'all.